Hi, everybody, and welcome to episode 6 of Star Chasers. Chasing stars through space, also space chasing. Episode 6 is Brightsummer, the Brightsummer Court. Last episode, the party entered Fate Space, and they were heading towards the planet of Bide, which they found out one isn't really a planetoid, it's a disk. But they had a long conversation while roasting weenies and marshmallows outside of a fire ring planet, talking about goals and such. Then they headed to Bide, where the subject of their search was not being helpful because she doesn't understand how spell jamming works.
Name.
You guys landed on the disc and took the boat into the harbor of Fate's Cove, where you were questioned by customs and learned some things about the world of, or this continent on Bide. You learned that the halflings and humans are allied together in something called the Brightsummer Alliance, and they are currently fighting a long war with elves and dwarves. And that particularly the elves seem to be vilified here. You guys wandered around, gathered some intel, some of that information, and you did a little shopping. You procured various rare ingredients, including Minotaur parts. Parts are in quotes.
Some bulbous phallic roots.
Some kind of powder.
Cytome powder.
And a Minotaur horn. So there's a poor Minotaur somewhere who is missing a horn and his parts.
Also, I'm the Duchess of Colcracken.
Yes. That is
That's right.
part of the subterfuge.
Yes.
So last we left, the party was in the city square. You guys can see the palace up ahead. The city is not giant for Forgotten Realmsy people. It's significantly smaller than Neverwinter or Waterdeep. It for sure has less than 1 million people living here. But it's kind of fairly low stone buildings and sprawly around the edge of the cove. But yeah, what would you all like to do?
We've had our gift exchange and some amount of discussion. The Legion are where Tabaxi are from, and I believe Storm bought a Book of the Dead.
I have a fragment, yes.
Yes. Marley is a cat. On a catman.
Yes.
And Andrew, will you let me know when I'm getting close to 4 hours of time?
That was going to be my question. How long can you stay a cat?
I believe it's half my druid level, which would be 4 hours.
Okay. Let's say you've been a cat for 2 hours.
We're at half cat time.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to recat soon.
So while you're in this shape, are you pussyfooting around? Is that what we're calling it?
Yeah, that is.
Whoa.
That is fun.
Whoa.
Um,
Boo.
Whoa. Not my
Boo.
words.
Yikes.
Nice. Well, should we head on to my... What was I, cousin?
Yes, you claim to be her cousin.
Yes, okay, well...
And
we are all refugee of the Elvish Front,
Yes.
if we recall.
And we have autonomy, right? There's no one minding us?
No one followed you from the customs port or anything like that.
No one, obviously, right?
And I do believe that Chimken was going to be my physician, and you would be my
Harold.
courtly
Yeah.
cat person, yes.
musician.
Alvar was getting supplies. I believe the goblin and the trench hippo were all back on board with the sick bear that is our giant hamster. All right, well, I suppose let's start going towards the city, though I'm terribly afraid that this universe's Hester is a bit of a C word.
Oh.
Just saying.
Dang. There's a lot of words flying around today.
She's a bit of a child.
Oh, I thought you meant she was from Waterdeep.
That's what I was going to say.
Oh, I
Something
see.
water
Yes.
related. Nautical. I speak Aquan. If that's your concern, I can probably communicate. I used to date a mermaid.
Oh,
Did you really?
Yeah,
there's a story there.
I
Actually,
did,
yes.
You did?
Yes.
Yes.
How did that
Testadora.
work?
It was interesting. It didn't really work out as it turned out.
You're a cat and she's a fish. That's kind of
Well,
weird.
I mean that's one way of looking at it. If I might say, that's sort of a human way of simplifying, being reductive.
Hold on, I have to do my character. You're a cat and she's a fish.
Yes, quite.
Yes.
Looking slightly
Kind
to
of.
the side of you, reading my cue cards.
I see.
Yes, this is
Earlier
bad
line
acted,
of
Chimken.
questioning is now becoming revealed. But
No,
if you
but I
said
am-
Robert De Niro, or sorry, Robert Downey Jr. rather, is always excellent. Let me just say, he was cited as one of your inspirations, I believe.
But
Yeah.
I do fear that she's actually a much worse C word.
Crumb bum.
Cruel.
Oh,
Again.
What gives you this? Because
Well-
she's a monarch of a nation at war.
She's prolonging a war that none of the citizens seem to care about or for.
Well,
For 60 years, I think we gathered. And they're going to lose by attrition alone. I don't know. We can't know until we find out, and this is all valuable intelligence as
Well,
far as what is and is not a Hester.
with respect to the seawardness or not of your coeval.
The sea is that way.
And right. My point is that with respect, a cursory sort of touch of the situation. It might be a little more complex than that. That's all I'm going to say. I mean, why are they at war? Who's the aggressor? It may be perceived by the common folk to be perpetuated by the monarch unnecessarily, but is it? I mean, is it just that? I don't know.
No.
Right. I mean, that's the thing, and you seem to indicate that perhaps other Hesters might not have been so non-seawardly.
Well, I've only spied on the one so far at any length.
Spied on.
Sort of two. It's not creepy.
Spying? No. It's a matter of perspective. I have some experience with that too.
Well then. Now I suppose let's go and introduce ourselves, and if we get ourselves in a spot of trouble, we blow their mind with the fact that we're from fucking space and get out of there.
Are we? I mean, strangers in a strange land. We'll see what happens. But I mean, we don't know if they know anything about any of that, and we don't know what their response would be. Do things seem magical around here? Do they seem obviously magical in any way?
No. You can kind of superficially cast a little spell, and you guys have been casting message and stuff. So there is magic on this planet. They have a weave. It's just that this city isn't like Waterdeep or Neverwinter or anything like that, where it's like people on the street just casually casting magic. These seem more like kind of, it's a little more down to earth.
Yes, I didn't completely blow this Hester's mind for communicating to her at all, but it might be a more refined. Like, this is all very Forgotten Realms or your plane.
Isn't it with respect equally plausible that she might have just thought that she was imagining your voice in her head?
She responded awfully conversationally for someone who thought they were talking to a voice in their head, but I suppose that's not uncommon.
Maybe she hears a lot of voices in her head. I'm a cat. Ignore me.
Meow meow.
But
meow, meow, meow,
I somehow I understand you, right? Andy, is that fair? Can I get some sort of
Marley and Storm, you're being some pretty big C words right now. And by that I mean cats.
Mm-hmm.
That's today's bit, apparently. I'm doing the C word bit all day.
Swordmanship.
Yes, is there any ability? Does anyone have communicate with animals, or I can? Gnomes can talk.
Marley does.
Yeah, I do.
Good, excellent. She can communicate with herself.
I mean, do you have detect thoughts?
I have detect thoughts, and I have tongues.
Yes.
And everyone understands what I'm saying to our cat.
Well, but if you do detect thoughts, you can communicate. Oh, right.
I can sense what Marley's thinking, which is probably a lot of I love that hamster, tuna.
Speaking in Elven, so that, it's probably not a good idea.
Ooh, no, I do not recommend it.
Plus we don't know if their Elven is the same as our Elven, colloquially. I mean, you'd think there'd be some sort of, I don't know, correlation, but...
Let us go and present ourselves as refugees, and you are my court, and that is your familiar or something. Sorry, Marley. And see how far we get. And ultimately, I'm just a visiting Hester here to check on Hester Biz. So, just if it doesn't go well, or we found some kind of collaborators or something like that, just be prepared to book it, I suppose.
Right.
I can always message Alvar to come and break us out of where we're at. I'm already 250 gold in the hole with him.
Don't worry.
That should be worth bail.
Interesting. Yeah. So how obvious? You said the palace or whatever is.
Yeah, there is an obvious palace. Yeah,
Okay.
It's towards the center of the city. Actually, towards the edge of the city, because it acts mostly as a barricade on the other side. The cove is a natural barrier, and then the castle extends as a literal fortress that the town is built between it and the cove. But there's thick, heavy walls and a moat around it on this side, but the drawbridge is down and the gate is up.
Okay. Shall we?
All right. The drawbridge is down and the gate is up, so it's open right now.
Yes.
Okay. Well, yes, kind of stride up, as if I belong here a bit.
All right. I'll go in front.
Okay, that makes sense.
Sure. Is there any... do we have to present ourselves to anybody on the way in?
There are guards standing at the entrance to the castle across the drawbridge, and they will step forward and ask who you are and what your business in the castle is.
Greetings and salutations. We are a party of emissaries seeking refuge and an audience with the Queen. This is the message cantrip Duchess, Countess
Of Coal
what?
Kraken.
But what's the title? The what of Coal Kraken?
Duchess, yes.
Thank you, Duchess of Coal Kraken. The lady Lily, and her doctor, royal physician, Chimken, Lord Chimken, and I am court emissary and friend, the legendary Storm and Stars, and I sort of flex my 20 charisma as much as I can, and be as like astonishingly beautiful and charming as possible.
He seems entranced for a moment, and then shakes his head a little bit and says, "Of course, the Duchess." And looking at Hester, she feels the part enough that he kind of nods and says, "A small retinue, but I understand best to travel light these days."
Oh yes, the rest were killed on the war front.
He'll like not touch you because you're royalty to him, but he will just very sadly look at you and say, "I'm so sorry."
Yes, well. Now I simply long for the company of my cousin, Her Grace.
Of course. Is there anything I can do? Can I start a collection, perhaps?
You betcha. Yes.
For
the widows and orphans.
Yes.
Not Coal Kraken.
I didn't know the war had reached Kull Kraken. That's so sad.
Surprise attack. The vicious elves just
took the words out of my mouth. Who knows where the damned elves will show up next? Seem like they just fall out of trees sometimes.
I spit, but like I don't have a lot, so it's just kind of like. Nasty brutes, knife ears, and beardos, all.
They don't have beards usually, but okay.
No, but the dwarves.
Yes.
Storm's ears are flattening, and well, even though he knows you're probably not meaning what you're saying, and his tail starts to flip a little bit, like he's not really liking what he's hearing. But he understands what you're doing, but he's not comfortable with it.
Sure. It's cover racism.
Yeah.
We all know the true villains are gnomes and Eladrin. That's between
you, me, and the moat. But the two guards will let you in, and you can walk towards the castle where the big double doors will be opened for you. And as you approach, a butlery-looking gentleman walks up to you and says, "Yes, is His and Her Majesty expecting you?"
Yes, absolutely. Tell her, the voice in her head has arrived. Her Lady Hester from Not Hell.
Interesting.
She will understand, my good man, half person. Which are you? You're a person.
Wow. Halflings are people too, Marty.
I can't be racist against myself, said Hester defensively.
He is a human.
Okay.
Yeah, quite.
Okay.
He will turn and go somewhere, presumably with that weird message to give to someone.
The voice in her head from Not Hell. I don't see what's weird from it at all.
And he'll come back several minutes later and say that they're currently holding court. How may I introduce you?
Oh, as the Hester of Great Plains. She'll probably never have heard of it, but And her retinue.
Hester of Great Plains. Message. Is calling yourself the Hester a really great idea?
It's kind of a power move.
Yes, it is.
What I'm doing.
Okay, just saying. Alright, smiling. Purring.
Well, I'm not going to get away with being the Duchess of Coalcracking much longer.
No,
Right.
with people who actually know who that looks like, probably not.
Yeah.
The
Dueling purr boxes. Start rubbing heads.
The butler leads you up, and the double doors into the throne room open, and he walks up to a megaphone on a stand, and he says into it, "Yes, now presenting to the court the Hester of Great Plains and her retinue." And he'll bow very deeply, and everyone will politely turn and clap and look around like, what the hell is that?
Curtsy a bit and walk in. Is it all like how long an awkward walkway do we have here?
So it's a large square chamber. It's not a crazy long walkway. The thrones are maybe 50 feet from you. It's about 50 by 50, and it's filled with, there is a queen, a halfling queen on the throne, a human king on the throne, and then there are various other halflings and humans strewn about the room. In total, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7... 14 people in the room.
And none of them, they're only halflings or humans?
Only halflings or humans.
Okay. How many of them appear, like, armed or... how many guards and versus how many, like, court?
I'm sorry, those are the 14 courtly people, and then there are 10 guards.
Okay.
Windows?
Yeah, there is a big stained glass window, which depicts the sun rising over a green field, and the silhouette of a human and halfling shaking hands and holding like a treaty.
I see. I stop about 10 feet from the throne. Which from math purposes would be a full dash to be 10 feet out of the throne room.
Okay.
Should anything go poorly with my short little legs. Your Grace, we spoke very briefly. I did find the place.
Let's see. The queen will say, that you did. Not what I was expecting, but yes. Welcome to the Brightsummer Court.
Lovely to be received. I don't know particularly what you were expecting, but I am a Hester from another plane, as I did say. Not the hells or any of the fiery or watery ones, but just taking a brief tour of your realm to see how my sisters in Hestiny are doing.
A dreadful, dreadful word.
Oh, thank God.
She will say, I don't know what I can show or offer you. I mostly attend to courtly matters. I don't quite know what you mean by a Hester of another plane. I'm a bit confused, to be honest.
Of course, my grace. Of course, this would all be sprung on you, but perhaps we could secure a more private, or at least smaller audience later, where neither of us need fear or embarrass ourselves. If we could take a small corner of your palace until perhaps later, just small audience, brief interview, perhaps.
She will look at the king, and the king will kind of exchange a look with her, and she will say, "Yes, that should be most agreeable. The butler will show you to the guest chambers."
Okay.
Is the king a human or a halfling?
The king is a human.
That's what I thought.
I'm gonna do an active insight check on that look.
Okay.
On the general vibe.
Yeah, I really want to blow another detect off, but there's very little profit in it right now.
I got a 15.
Okay.
On my check.
So, I want to say a couple things. So let me describe the king and queen. The queen looks older than the king. The queen is probably about 60. She has, you can see gray hair under her crown, kind of the front hat, her bangs are kind of swooped to the side, and she's wearing like one of those coif head coverings with the crown on top. Elegantly dressed, lots of, not a lot of jewels, but she has crown jewels on. The king is built like he was once a warrior, but is maybe... He's like 45, so he's still muscly, especially in the arms, but he's starting to get a bit of a gut. Wearing a tabard over armor that is straining to fit at this point. Crown, handsome man, bearded. That's them. Insight check. That is It was a look that, married couples or people who have known each other a long time can say so much in a look. That was simply I'm already doing this and there's nothing you can do to stop me. And the king's just like, I'm not going to fight you on it.
Oh, okay. Cool. All right. Is there a welcoming energy at all? Or is there more of a drifters walking into the diner and everybody turning and looking at us?
A little bit of that. There's all the hangers on to the court are eyeing you up. They brought a cat man, and there seems to be a common house cat running around. And
Marley, you're on my shoulder, right?
Yeah.
It's still loose. Yeah. Is this how they do things in Fate's Cove?
It can wait until the morning, should it please the queen, or whenever at her leisure, of course.
She will say, "No, when current business is done, I shall summon you."
Perfect. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you all. I think that's how we do it.
Boo, no.
Just one guy in the crowd. Boo.
Don't know that I disagree, but goodness.
Get off the stage.
I suppose we follow the butler. I was hoping for another arcane recovery or long rest, but we might not get that. This is all in the same time period as we've flown in, right?
Yes.
We're as low on rerolls and spells as we were when we arrived.
Yeah, unless you wanted to take a long rest before you came here, which you could have done. I mean, I'm not going to say you won't.
I would feel better about it, but that would already have changed things. So no, let's go in a little unprepared. This could be fun.
I did want to say, Marty, I was thinking of this earlier. We had talked about casting Detect Thoughts at higher levels doesn't do anything. Except for you, it does, because you can regain better spell slots.
Yes. I was... Thank you. I was wondering if that would be allowable. Good show.
Okay, so you guys go follow the butler. He takes you through parts of the castle. And you are given a large guest area. There's a central chamber and 3 guest rooms.
Right.
Oh, okay.
That makes sense because they only think
There's
three
only
of
think
us.
there's 3 of you.
Okay, well that's fine. If it's fine with Marley, I don't mind. But before I'm gonna say to Marley in a message cantrip way. There. See, Andy's living the dream there of what we're doing. I'm just gonna say before you drop what you're doing, let's check the room out and make sure we're not being spied on. Yeah. Right. So I mean, I'll search at least our room for like secret doors, paintings with cutout eyes, any kind of that stuff, hidden panels.
Okay. So perception or investigation check.
Okay, I will do.
Can I help him in my?
Sure.
I mean, in my limited capacity as a cat.
Yeah,
Do I
you
get
can-
an advantage
Yeah,
then if she's helping?
advantage.
Cool. Advantage. I will roll perception with advantage and the roll come off the table and that's nice, a natural 20.
Ooh.
And a 2. I will take the natural 20.
For sure.
Sorry, cat's tangling up in my headphones. So you very thoroughly search the room. And you find no peepholes, secret doors, spy holes, priest holes, anything like that.
Great.
Priest holes?
Yeah, it's where they used to hide like Catholic priests in certain countries where Catholicism or Protestantism was outlawed. You could hide priests in castles. They're just like secret rooms.
Okay.
Do I have to have a spell prepared to cast it ritually? I'm a little unclear on that.
I
ruling.
don't think so.
Because it's in your book.
I think it goes in your
Right.
ritual book.
Yeah.
Okay. Then I would like to take the 11 minutes to cast Detect Magic.
Okay.
Sure. Andy, should I re-roll checking the other rooms too? If I'm going to search them? Just, chilly or...
No, with a natural 20, that'll get you all the rooms.
All 3
Yeah.
rooms? So all 3 rooms, as far as I can tell, are free of any mundane means of surveillance.
Yes.
Okay, great.
And casting Detect Magic, there are no magical effects in the area.
Okay.
Looking around, there's not even like continual magic spells or anything like that. You're gonna have to light torches.
Well, we can keep the lights. We can keep the lights off in our room because we're both seeing the dark. So.
Yog Sargoth, grant me your eyes. What? Nothing. In here, I'm okay.
So, I hear this name that I've heard before in class.
It's just the goat of 1,000 young. It's fine.
My
Groth, it's fine.
hair
it's not.
starts standing up.
There aren't even warlocks from where you're from.
No, there's not. Or not
That
as
you
playable.
know of.
Not as a playable class, at least.
Oh,
But
the villains.
yes, there's unfortunately a large part of our map that sold the souls of everyone in his kingdom.
I don't know.
Bit of a scandal, really.
Seems like I think it's smart.
Are you telling me? That's why you're like going through your ritual?
Depends on how in character any of this is.
Uh,
Well, if you're actually saying those words and I hear them.
No,
Yeah,
no,
no.
it's much more mumble, mumble, mumble.
Mm-hmm. Shub-Nagarath. Mumble,
Shub-
mumble.
Yes. Yeah. Cthulhu
Yeah.
never seen.
Yeah, dude.
Okay, so we're not being scryed on because I think that shows up among other things.
yeah, a little sensor would show up.
Okay, I feel, Marley, you're probably safe to return to us. I apologize if...
Are there any like boudoirs or any closets or anything that I could hide in just in case?
Yeah.
Like there's an emergency. Okay, cool. Then I'll decat.
Oh, now we want a priest hole. See?
Yeah.
Getting a lot of mixed messages.
Will I get the trigger, the what do they call those? The real-time trigger or whatever in a video game to be able to hide?
Oh, yes. Real-time event or...
Yeah, quick time event. Yeah.
Quick time event, that's it.
Quick hit triangle. Oh, no. I panicked.
I held square like an idiot.
Okay. You are all back out in the open in what you believe is a safe room.
Okay, cool. I will keep my hood up just in case that I don't get to the closet quick enough.
Sure.
Oh, yes, and should it come up, you don't change form as a bonus action, do you?
No.
You're not a moon.
No, because you're not a
druid.
moon druid. You're a...
Okay.
No, that's a full
What's
beat
your
for me.
What's your circle?
I'm the shepherd.
Yes.
Shepherd, yes.
Summon totems and stuff.
Right, yes. Very, very handy then. Okay, well, we've gotten this far, and mostly don't have to maintain much more of a ruse than what we already have. I don't expect we should announce that we're from off-world, unless we find that to be a trump card. I've already announced that we're from a different plane, which is as vague as I thought we could get.
Chimken, I know you're very handy and clever at coming up with solutions for things. Do you think there's a way we could make something that would make Marley look less herself? Is there any sort of item you could create that might help us out, or...
Visit ears.
Well, Marley is Shadarkai, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, oh, they don't like elves.
Yes.
They don't like elves.
Could probably get away with the complexion thing. It's just the...
Well,
Yes, can you cast Disguise Ears as a cantrip? Or...
I have a spell, Disguise Self, but unfortunately, that's only 4.
yes.
Myself!
It's right there in the title.
Disguise elf. It's right there in the title.
Oh, disguises elf.
Gracious.
And I believe we found a loophole.
It's very hard to argue with.
Where you separate. You don't clearly.
Shit, that might be our best joke like ever, guys.
Boom.
As I look through my stuff, I realized I forgot. I've got a Hester detector, don't I?
Yeah, you're working on a Hester detector. You haven't finished
Oh,
it
and
yet.
this is the way we're
But
gonna.
you're gonna have to, because you're gonna have to get some
Calibrate it.
stuff from her and calibrate it.
Alright,
Yes.
well, I do have Mortician's powder, which allays all discernible odors. So we could just cover you in powder. Moth
She
and
doesn't-
freckle lotion.
Hmm.
Have any freckle like? If this grayness is one big freckle, then we're in luck.
I don't think the Raven Queen thought of that. I just made him have one big freckle.
I actually have Bloom of Youth, which is good for your complexion and skin. But that might just give you a more vibrant gray, I suppose.
No sort of hat of disguise options, huh?
Well, all we need is a bunch of makeup.
For my ears.
So you have pointy ears.
that's-
Well, it's
I
covered
mean,
with your
that's
hair, right?
The jaunty hat.
a disguise kit could help us. I don't have one.
I don't have one either.
Nor
I
my
have one type of artisan's tools, which I have not selected, but it's
Well,
certainly
well,
not a disguise
okay.
kit.
Hold on now. We came in here with a cat, and now we're just going to walk out with a
For the fourth
person?
person.
That won't go over. Can't Marley just be a cat again?
Yeah.
I could convince them that she was with us the whole time. I feel fairly certain that I could do that. Not that I want.
Well, if we can have a surprise Marley as a cat, I think we can list that amongst our assets as...
Wait, hold on. I forgot. I have a spell called Invisibility.
Yes,
Marley, you won't be visible at all. Though people might wonder where our cat went. Say, we ate it, as that is a custom from where the plane that we're from.
That's sounding more like a hell. Also, I don't know that we shouldn't trust that they can't detect that sort of thing or have access to detecting that sort of thing.
I am a little bit afraid of if I go invisible.
Yes.
And they find out that I'm invisible.
Yes.
That it's going to be a lot worse of a situation.
Yes.
Why?
I share that fear.
I have one other option.
And that's only invisible for an hour, whereas she can be a cat for 4, correct?
Yes.
Yes. Well, there's also, I have spider climb. So while we're walking around, you're cleverly walking on the ceiling. They'd have to look up.
It won't give you a second look.
As long as we keep their attention pointed at our feet, you'll be fine.
I'm going to put a hand on Chimken's shoulders and just going to look at him very seriously and say, of all of your ideas, I think that's the best one so far.
So far.
Spider climb also only lasts an hour, so what happens at the end of that hour? Just
I'll cast polymorph and turn her into a real spider.
Do you have crampons?
Crampons?
Wait.
No. I waited a half before I swam. Yeah, mine only lasts an hour too.
Wait a minute, here's another one. I have got myself a facsimile of a bag of holding. You could hide in there
And
do
die.
a straw. The straw shall extend out of the bag, allowing you to breathe.
That's a pretty interesting solution. How deep is the bag? Could you stand up in there, or would you have to lay down?
I don't have my Dungeon Master's Guide with me. Let me look up a D&D bag of holding.
No.
Bag of holding 5E. Bag of holding. On the Roll20 Compendium. Interior space, larger, it's 2 feet in diameter at the mouth and 4 feet deep. How tall are you, my friend?
Taller than 4 feet.
almost certainly taller than
Yeah.
Well, we could put
I'm
a
5'5".
chair. We could put a chair in there, and you could just have a nice
Have a sit.
It's like, what am I going to do in here? It's like shoving a chair and a long straw, like a 5-foot straw, like sticking out a foot from the bag.
The bag can hold up to 500 pounds.
Definitely less than that.
So we have a number of options: invisibility,
More
spider
your
climb,
options.
cat form, or a bag of holding and a straw.
Do we have a straw? That's the real question.
I think cat form keeps her less detectable or suspicious, and also more spring-loaded should we need an elf out of nowhere.
Oh, instant elf. Summon instant. Just add elf.
Yes.
I don't mind being a cat, so that's fine.
We say, Marley, you get that one. Storm tosses her at one of the guards, and then it's an elf.
Do you want to be a cat with spider climb? Because that sounds pretty fun.
Actually,
I do like that idea.
Where's
Spider
the cat? It's
Spider
over here.
cat.
yes.
Oh,
Have
we're
we
being
blown your
silly
mind
today.
yet, Hester?
We've got a cat on the ceiling.
Queen of Bide, or whatever your planet is called.
It's just one of our hobbies.
Chimken,
So-
I'm gonna rely on you to decide when is the best time to use spider climb on me. No, I'm gonna trust you with that.
Oh, it's just once we're about to leave the room, prepare yourself for the wonders of low-level magic.
Really curious about
First
the
level.
First level.
really curious about the area. You know, the politics. The
Minimum wage spellcasting.
Well, do discuss amongst yourselves. I'm going to visit the water closets real quick.
She's just left her. Huh? Is she going out the window? What is she doing?
Do we have a cat? What do you call those things the cats go to the bathroom in?
Oh, a litter
Cat
box.
box.
Litter box?
Oh, right. I was going to call it the sandbox.
I mean, I've heard people
Bag
call
of-
it cat's hand.
You could have a designated bag of holding for that.
Oh, man. That's not good.
You gotta clean that out every once in a
Yeah.
while.
You save it as a special, like, if you're trying to get someone to talk. It's
If
like
you're
getting
doing
a-
that, then you have too many bags of holding. You know, it really
Maybe.
cheapens
Like
the
you
whole
can,
idea.
you can,
of
you
having
can
a
make them. You can make them. You know, how many can you make? What's your rate of production?
I mean, just the one, but I mean, I could, if I junked something else, I could make another one. But I
It's
mean,
gonna
I have
be Chimken and
precious.
Storm's like new business.
New biz.
I have a bag of holding, sending stones, and the Hester detector.
Right, and we have the sending stones are ones with Alvar, right, or with the hippo.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you guys left it with. I think you left it with Warminster.
Warminster, right? He's going to be the kind of guy who's shouting into his sending stone
Oh,
all the time.
100%.
It's gonna explode.
We can hear you with normal volume.
No, it's long distance.
When we call him, we have to set it down 20 feet away from us so it doesn't hurt.
Is that on speaker? It's not.
How do you turn it off?
He's the guy that insists that everybody says over at the end of it.
Yes. And I've given you all code names.
He leaves it on while he's like doing mundane tasks and stuff, and we can hear everything.
Man, cat, human, do you copy? Those are our code names?
Secret elf, are you there?
Hush, little biscuit and secret elf.
Secret elf.
This is Large and in charge, over.
Large and
Elf infiltrator.
So we got Secret Elf,
elf.
Secret Elf, Human,
Stealth elf.
Catman,
cat.
Man cat.
Man, cat.
Man
And Crumpet. Let's
We need you.
call me Little Crumpet.
Rumpet.
Excellent.
Who's
And he's
Crumpet?
large and in charge.
He's large and in charge.
I thought it was gonna be Trench Body.
Who's Crumpet?
I am Little Crumpet.
Oh,
I'm
interesting.
gonna have to get another one for Chimken. I do like Human, but
I like that he just reduced him to that. Dr. Human.
I was gonna say
Doctor-
Professor
say-
Human. Let's say Dr. Human.
Human.
Is that you?
Man, cat, and Secret Elf might be my favorite because it gives it away right away.
That's the name of our new super team, Man Cat and Secret Elf.
Yes. These are
I
our
love it.
Speaking Stone code names.
Just an elf squinting, looking left to right. I don't think anybody saw me.
It's like doing the John Travolta gif where he's like from Pulp Fiction where he's looking back and forth, but it's
Yeah.
Secret Elf squinting.
And there's like a whole bunch of people all around, you know,
Right.
not secret at all.
Okay, well, I must say, I've given myself a pep talk in the water closet that I expect this to go entirely diplomatically and for us to leave of our own, reconnaissance. But should it go south, I don't want to rock the whole weird shaky disc this planet is on. I just want to get away. So consider that. I can certainly become greaterly invisible for 10 minutes. There's been some talk of other invisibilities. I can summon a big hunking owl. I summon an owl.
Right now?
Yes, and then I put the owl back into whatever pocket dimension I get owls from. You know, we have options. But yes, think more escapology. Should we need to do an off-ski? Kind of a dine and dash on a planetoid level.
I'm really interested in this place and why we're here. I think there's something to it. And we've come here at a time of unrest.
Yes.
There are no accidents.
If things go south, I have a distraction. I'll hold up the Minotaur parts. We'll just throw this at them and run.
I bought those. They were a gift.
No, I know, but I mean...
Worst comes, I suppose.
They're certainly distracting.
It's sort of a poor man's bola, right? Bola? Like, trip them up. We're on the ankles with it.
No, I think it's more a single target use, though, is my...
No, I think it's a blackjack of some kind. Just
maybe a low jack.
Well, since they're miniature points, wouldn't it be more of a bull?
Yep.
Boom. Boom.
Well, that's the stream. My internet's going. Bye. Leave call.
Oh no. Not again.
Oh no. So yes, we don't wish to whatever prime directive we should or shouldn't have as space chasers. Just keep in mind. But yes, I am more curious as to what's going on currently, Storm. I don't know that maybe I should believe more in that we were drawn here for a purpose, but...
I mean, your whole thing is discovering your Hestiny. Isn't that true?
Well spotted, of course, yes.
And we're here. I mean, we can't just consign it to some sort of simple dine and dash, right? That was
no, but...
is that the term for it, where you're from?
Yes. Not that I know anything about it.
we call it.
Yes, well, I just mean to say that should we need to escape, we should be more focused on the escape than a direct confrontation. I'm here to observe and trade notes with another Hester, maybe get a nose hair or whatever it is that Chimken needs for his contraption.
That seems like it would be difficult, and perhaps...
It wouldn't be my first ask, I suppose.
As long as you ask.
Oh, yeah, we need... What do we need from the Hester?
We need Hester parts.
You need something.
Well, I mean, is it a proximal? Do you need...
This won't be difficult. We'll just have our secret elf cat friend rub up against the Hester and
it's not impossible. I think I'd prefer it willfully given, but I think we need something old, something new, something borrowed, and something blue from various Hesters.
Perhaps just a used sock would be sufficient.
I like that spell form that you've come up with.
Yes, thank you. So, Miradorian nursery rhyme.
Are your nurseries blue?
Usually. Yes. It's genderless though, so it's pretty woke.
So the babies don't get to sleep?
No, not a lot. It's actually a tragedy.
It's too bad. But
you want to sleep train them though. You're really like, wake up, you dumb baby, and sleep through the night. This is going a weird place. I don't like this bit anymore. Let's go back.
We can talk about cultural differences later.
Yes.
Let's immerse ourselves in the one we're in.
Okay.
Which is really more to my point. I'm very interested in what's going on here because.
Well, we can stay longer or shorter depending.
Sir, I'm just saying. It's interesting.
Well, perhaps it is time to kind of recalibrate our team goals, which I think we established last time, were pretty vague. We procured some ingredients for Chimken, and I hope we are sating at least 2 of your thirst for adventure, but is there anything else anyone else wants from here?
Well, sight unseen and not knowing. I mean, The only thing I'm really interested in is what I just said, is to figure out why we're here and what's here to offer us, and what maybe we can offer them.
Perhaps we should do some snooping.
Oh, I suppose we don't know when we're going to be summoned.
We'll just look around casually. Don't mind me, just admiring your underwear drawer or whatever.
Oh, is this your room?
That's where they hide things.
Are these your pants you're wearing? Sorry. Sorry. Thought that was my body.
What sort of things?
Especially with my spell of invisibility.
Well, if we were guaranteed a long rest, I wouldn't mind more snoopery, for sure. Though I wouldn't
We need
have any underdraws. But, I mean, there's valuable intelligence everywhere.
Is it nighttime? Do we need a long rest?
It's approaching dinner time. You could take a long rest, but
Are they going to feed us?
They didn't say.
Oh.
They didn't say. And holding court could take some time, but I would expect that, unless they're already booked through dinner, is there any kind of summoning bell to talk to a bottle?
There is.
Person? All right. Should we get a realistic expectation of when we should
Is it possible?
expect to be called, and then we'll have an idea of what window we have to work with?
Okay. All right. Now Hester's are spellcasters, yes?
In my limited experience, yes.
Is it possible if she's using magic to listen to everything we're saying right now?
Well, for 10 solid minutes, we were not being spied on. Scryingly, I think. Is that how long Detect Magic lasts?
I think it might even be half an hour. But yeah, no. Hester cast Detect Magic, and she didn't see any spying, scrying, or divination.
Yeah,
little
'cause
At that moment.
the scry spell creates like an invisible thingy, right?
Yes. That is, I think, see invisible can...
Well, why don't we see if they
10 minutes. Detect magic, 10 minutes.
see if they invite us to dinner, and if not,
If you're hungry, I have some. I offer you hard
I don't want to spoil my fabulous meal.
Well, I will use the summoning bell to... Marley, perhaps you should be in the water closet.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that.
Okay.
It's lovely. They have a smoked glass mirror. It's actually quite nice.
They're gonna feed our secret elf like cat food. That's so weird. Are you actually going to eat it?
Depends on what it is. Okay, going in the closet.
So you pull the little rope, and way down the hallway, you hear a little ding-ling, ding-ling. And
Storm, you do the talking so it looks all official, like, important or something.
a
quick rush to a seat, like... I was always like this.
You might want to get checked out. You might have the dropsy.
It's been catching.
A butler comes to the door and says, "Yes."
Thank you for coming so promptly. I'm afraid my mistress is faint from lack of sustenance. We're wondering if perhaps we can await some food, or if we can send out for some.
He will say, "Of course, sir. What would you like?"
Mistress would like roast pheasant,
Yes.
jellied oranges,
Quite.
oranged jellies.
No. Yes.
Let's get the chocolate fondue
Well, quite good. Yes.
and fresh selection of garden greens. And what do you have available for cakes?
Cakes. Well, we have it's like a sponge cake with orange. It's quite good. We call them Jaffa cakes. Yes. We have a lava cake. It's not made of lava. New invention from the east.
I laugh obligingly at his jest.
Yes.
In an effort to butter him up and get him on my side.
And a delicious candied fruit cake.
I think everything but the fruit cake.
Yes.
Oh no, wait. How hard is the fruit cake?
Quite hard. I believe some dwarves use it in battle.
I was going to say, I'd like to have 2, please, just for testing purposes.
Yes, I understand.
Thank you.
Swoon.
Let me. Oh, I'm sorry. And if we could have some sort of citrus beverage, is that an option?
Yes.
A wine.
Okay.
Okay, you seem hesitant. Is that not a thing? Is this a teetotaling situation?
Oh goodness, no. If I'm being honest, the wine selection in Tabaxi is lacking.
What would you recommend?
We have a good selection of ales and hard liquors. In the whiskey family.
We'll take the lot. That sounds good.
Excellent.
And am I getting any sort of should I tip this guy vibe from him at all?
No, he is complimentary.
Do I get the impression that to tip him would be insulting?
Probably. He takes his It's about duty.
Then I'm gonna thank him effusively, but not too familiarly, respectfully, so he retains his whatever suit of authority, and thank him, and ask him to please knock using this code, and I'll go when it's him at the door, just so we're not caught unawares.
Bless you, footman. I'm so faint. It's getting dark.
I'm going to ask for one more thing.
One more thing.
A series of linked sausages, each one larger than the last. Thank you.
I'll see what the butcher can do, sir.
Good day.
And to you. And he will leave.
As an artificer, I'm surprised I have not made a machine that makes sausages. What have I been doing with my life? We could hang them up.
Decorations.
Turn one of the rooms of the Centurion Hawk into a meat smoking chamber.
The sausage room.
Now that Marley and I are sharing a room,
they have those smuggling chambers underneath the floor, right?
Yeah, just filled them with cured meats.
Yes.
Right.
A meat chamber, also known as a male sweat tent. Nailed it.
Yeeps. That's the name of our new album, Male Sweat Tent.
I don't think they detected our secret elf. So we're all right.
Marley, are you okay in that WC?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Okay, good. If he follows my instructions, we should get a heads up before he's back. And I hope I got enough food to feed you.
Well, the feeding wasn't the point. The point it was whether or not we would be seeing them tonight.
Well,
but
there was no expectation of dinner, right? So.
Well, now that we've been fed, perhaps they'll put us off.
Well, or they'll ask us to eat because they want to watch us eat more.
You could always ask when he comes back.
We have a bag of holding. We'll just put all the food in the bag, keep it fresh, eat what we need as we go. We're basically stocked up for. I mean, if he brings me everything I asked for, we're okay for a while. And Alvar might.
It is true.
Pay him off with liquor.
We're in a real Van Halen Eminem situation right now.
I suppose.
A specific order.
Yes.
But
hopefully without the aspersions associated with that. Association.
Van Halen. There's an incident between Van Halen and Eminem.
They had a rider that there were no brown M&Ms.
Yes.
Oh, I thought you meant the rapper.
Backstage.
Oh,
No,
No.
that would
No.
be interesting.
So there's some
and-
kind of incident between them.
No, no, but that would be fun.
He was this close to being David Lee Roth's replacement. No, that would be something.
No, though I have heard a reasonable explanation that they just wanted to make sure that they had paid any attention to their rider, which is why they put in a ridiculous request in the first place, which I like as an apocrypha. Anyway,
Absolutely.
well, we don't know for sure that that's bought us any time for spying
Always fun.
or for long resting, but we do know that we are getting some
Food.
jellied oranges and orange jellies, whatever, as well as at least 3 cakes.
Can we just ask the butler when he comes back?
We certainly can. Do I have to still pretend to be faint?
No, you can.
Okay.
You should
You're-
probably be doubled over, clutching your stomach.
Royals are, famously changeable. You should be doing like one-handed push-ups when he comes back,
Oh,
just for contrast.
I should be more strong then.
Something. I don't know. Just mix it up. Lady's choice.
I can barely go on, but I will do one-handed push-ups. I don't think I can do those. I have an abysmal strength.
Is there a fainting couch in here?
I should hope.
You should be lying on the fainting couch.
Yeah.
It depends how dedicated to corsets they are. And actually, my strength is a 0, which is average.
Yeah.
Excellent.
As
Do
you guys,
one-handed push-up.
as you guys are talking, there is a knock on the door. Which
Is it the knock?
it is not the knock.
Oh, I don't know if I should be fainting or not. I sit
Uh,
down.
Never left the
I'll get the.
closet. I'm still
I'll
in
get
there.
the. You're still in there.
Yeah, I've been talking through the door.
You're hilarious.
Close the little eye hole. Occupado.
Right. Okay, so I come.
Our cat has the dropsy.
Before I open the door, I say, yes.
I was hoping to speak to the visitors.
And you are?
I'm the Duke of Herefordshire.
Does he have a black curly mustache? I think we just ran into the villain here.
Yeah.
That's the Duke of Weaselton.
One side of his mustache is curling through the keyhole. I can see it.
I'd like to tie someone to a railroad track. Is that possible?
Yeah,
Yes.
Exactly.
no. I think we're
I
in
do
trouble.
admire his naked ambition, however. Just putting it out there.
Is he rubbing
Always
his hands
admirable.
together, hunched over?
Yes.
Yes.
I have a sack of money that has a dollar sign on it.
Ah, and an old-timey bomb.
Is he chuckling to himself and muttering how easy it's going to be to trick us?
If it weren't for those damn do-gooders.
And our cat.
I want to insight check his claim.
Okay.
Shit. What do I have? 12?
Yeah. He seems curious to meet strangers who claim to be from a different plane.
Okay. I open the door.
Yeah.
I check with the group.
Yeah,
All good. I open the
quick
door.
nod. The water closet is occupado.
Yeah.
And standing outside the door is a very pale gentleman with a thin blonde goatee and kind of swooped back blonde hair, wearing very fancy dress. And he says, yes, charmed. My name is Corden, Duke of Herefordshire.
Halfling or human?
He is a halfling.
I bow low and say, welcome, Your Grace. And I sort of extend to give him the room to come in. And I say, the Duke of Herefordshire.
Yes.
Announcing to Hester. Presenting him.
Do my best curtsy in pants.
And I try to I've suddenly imagined you dressed like Katharine Hepburn in like every movie, wearing a pantsuit. It just if he has a cloak or a hat and he needs it taken, I'll take it, or a stick or whatever.
Yeah, he hands you his stick, gloves, coat, hat.
Right.
Just
I go off. I take his car, like
kerchief,
the Pink Panther movie.
cigarette case, purse,
Right, everything. It's
my
like
jewels
piling up. Right, everything. I'm pocketing half
Backpack.
of it. Right.
His yak.
Start going through his stuff.
Hands you his
yak.
Hands you his butler.
Who is also his yak.
Yes,
Just want to be
it's a
clear.
weird relationship.
She's got a rubber yak protector. That's all I'm gonna say. Deep cut, right?
No, yeah, I like it.
Okay. Cool. So, does
Yes.
it seem threatening at all?
No, the opposite.
Good. Great.
Duke Corden of Herefordshire.
Yes.
Well met, of course.
Hey, your story is so interesting to me. Wait. Kind of look around. My sister hasn't come by, has she?
Your sister?
Yes. Cordelia? Terrible woman.
What's so terrible about her,
Yes.
if I may ask?
Just an,
Corden and Cordelia.
just
No,
an awful gossip.
of course.
What would she be gossiping about?
Oh. Whatever is not her business.
Quite. Good one. No, I have not seen her ladyship. Would she be the Duchess of Herefordshire?
No. She's the Duchess
No.
of Therefordshire. Terrible place.
Fucking course. Go fuck yourself, Andrew. Yes, Herefordshire, you say. Cordelia, yes. Very clever.
Are we in like? We're in like the Phantom Toll booth or something.
It's gaining a flavor.
Yeah.
Is there a dog with a clock in it?
Edward Lear is going to figure.
We can
somehow
only
into
hope.
the corner of this.
Duke Corden, of course, very charmed to meet you, and thank you for taking interest in mine and my courtesan's stories. What can we do for you?
I'm just most interested. For you claim to be a Hester, and well, we of course have a Hester. She is our queen, and of course we have a spare Hester, the princess, of course. And now it's just you have a catman. This human has professor, I believe. Or doctor. You are the court doctor. You've
Is my physician, yes.
quite interesting clothing.
That pants.
That's what he's talking about, yes.
I've never seen. I don't understand where your stocking and breeches are. No, they go all the way to the floor. Fascinating.
It's the stripes, I think. Thank you. Yes, I don't mean to create a stir, of course. I'm simply here from another plane, not a hell. To be clear.
You did make that very clear.
Well, there was some early question. I'm sorry. You see, you have a spare Hester.
A bit of a joke, of course. The princess. No one sees her very often, but she will be queen someday.
No one sees her often?
No, she doesn't.
see.
She does not attend courtly business. Claims it's rather dull.
Have you seen her with her mother?
Oh, in the past, yes.
How long ago?
Oh, I believe I last saw the princess 6 months ago.
And she was with her mother?
Yes, yeah, in court.
Well, surely the war is a tax on everyone in court. I'm sure it exhausts her to think about.
No. Terrible war.
If I may ask, as we are strangers here, what is the cause of the war? How did the hostilities break out 60 years ago? Is that right?
60 years ago, yes. The elves assassinated a duke, one of ours, shortly after the formation of the Brightsummer Alliance. And then they unprovoked, they slaughtered several human and halfling villages on the border of their forests. And it's been going ever since.
Cast Detect Thoughts.
Okay.
At a 4th level.
Okay.
Deep thoughts detected.
This is going to be terribly important. I'm trying to think of where I want one back for sure. I think I want a 3rd back. Because I can always cast other things at higher levels too. Okay, so yes, detect thoughts and just kind of very all polite go on noises. Mm-hmm. I do presume though, because that he believes his own story. I don't expect that immediately to be revealing. Mm-hmm. I would like to immediately probe deeper to see whether or not there's anything is like, well, it wasn't completely unprovoked. It was the supply lines or whatever, like anything. And I would like to tell you that on his save, he gets a 7.
Okay. Okay, so let's think. How would he think about this? So there's okay.
Any second thought?
Yeah, his second thought is, of course it was unprovoked. The humans were on the land. The elves don't own it all. Mm-hmm. But sort of implied in that is, the humans were taking lands that previously where they were like sacred woods of the elves, and then they clear cut them to live on.
Sure.
And the elves killed them.
Yes.
And then he's also kind of thinking, the war is good for business. I don't really care that it keeps going.
Yes.
He's a war profiteer?
He's a war profiteer.
Great.
Well, I would so love to meet the princess. Is she available for calls? Again, I have detect thoughts up.
So he thinks for a moment, and his detect thoughts are, if he could marry her, he would be Queen's consort, and that's a sweet gig. And he wants that.
How old is this guy?
He's probably 25.
And he's a halfling, you said?
He's a halfling.
So, may I ask, is the princess the natural-born child of the queen and the king consort?
He says... Marty, you had a question. What was your question? I'll ask her.
No, please go ahead.
Okay. He'll say, no. She is the daughter of the queen, and the queen's consort, the poet Burton.
Burton? Who is the poet Burton?
He was in court. You would probably quite like him. He is a poet and a philosopher.
He's not at court, or he is?
Oh, he is. No, he's a duke. Or he was given a dukely title, which is Ledswich. He's the Duke of Ledswich.
Okay, a couple questions.
Sure.
This all seems extramarital, but is that politically sound? Is Hester's marriage, is Queen Hester's marriage purely for the alliance and everyone's cool?
So Queen Hester is not married to the king.
I see.
Queen Hester is married to Burton, her consort.
Okay.
Oh, so is it like a co-rulership?
It's a co-rulership. There is always a halfling and always a human on the throne.
That's
okay.
So they are not married, and so they have independent royalty lines.
Mm-hmm.
There
Okay.
can be two. There can be two queens, for instance, two kings. It all depends, but right now there is a king and queen.
And Burton is himself a halfling.
Yes.
When he pictures him in his mind. Of
Yes.
What happened?
Oh, and
Okay.
you can see he thinks, "What a knob."
Okay. Sure. I see. And I think if I had asked anything, it was merely like, what would it take to arrange a meeting with the princess?
Oh, and his response to that would be, "Well, it's really quite up to her. She has to want to see you, and she only does that for a select few."
Well, how would I get a message to her? Where would her room be?
Oh,
I am looking for a mental picture.
yeah. He kind of pictures. He says, "Well, it would be near the queens, for certain."
Well, it seems like it would be quite a feather in the cap of anyone who might arrange a meeting with extraplanar visitors for the princess. She might take a shine to whoever might orchestrate such a situation. Don't
We
you
are
think?
space audited by David Bowie.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
He will say, "Yeah, perhaps you would be interesting enough to secure her interest." Yes. Yes.
Now, your Queen Hester, she is champion of halflish kind?
Yes. Don't quite know what you mean.
Well, on my plane, the title of Hester comes with some great expectation.
She'll say that, hey, there has been a Hester on the throne for, I guess, since the beginning.
In his thoughts, is it just a name? Is it a hereditary
It's
title?
a hereditary name. She is Queen Hester the Fourth or something.
Well, I almost wonder
So
if we want
this
to send...
spares princess just because she would hereditarily inherit throne, right? Is that
Yes.
why she's...
Yeah.
So, does the king... I guess I can't ask this question because I'm not privy to any of these thoughts at this present. But
Oh,
we can talk
well,
about it later.
does the king's line have a hereditary name as well?
No. He is, his name is Peter. The eldest is, Fider, and the youngest is Colm.
And that is his line.
Yes, two princes.
What are they like?
Sporting chaps.
What are his actual feelings?
Fider's a wanker, Colm's a prissy.
Okay.
You kind of picture in the Fider is kind of like Jockly. You can see him hunting foxes and then bullying his subordinates.
The Duke of Herefordshire.
Yeah. Dumping his
Knocking him
books.
off his horse.
Yeah.
Or his riding dog, whatever halfling dukes ride.
And Colm is a reader, and Herefordshire thinks that's lame. So.
Okay, well, the Duke of Herefordshire can give fucking...
No, he's a terrible person.
Yes, I'm not getting the impression that he's... Well, if you know the proper ears to whisper in, I should love to meet the princess daughter.
Yes,
Of course,
as I
that's
said,
just
I
between
think it'd be
you,
quite a
me, and the
feather in
tapestries
cap
here.
of anyone who did that, I must say. So I'm aiding any persuasion that
And of
Hester's-
course, I'd put in a good word for anyone who managed to secure such a meeting.
Yes. I'll see what I can do.
Well, your assistance would be greatly appreciated. As we are strangers here, we are rather reliant on making powerful friends.
Quite. But if you don't mind, I need a spell on the fainting couch.
Oh, of course.
I spring up and sort of come to Hester's aid.
Oh, yes.
Support this fiction. Like, oh, my lady.
Drops all the stuff of his
fanning
that
her
you're...
with my hat. Like,
My corset. I can't. I literally can't breathe. It's a terrible torture device.
avert
I've
your
attached
eyes.
to myself.
Your grace. I
Thank
could
you,
make
thank
us
you.
to unlace the corset.
He'll start
But
gathering his...
But I'm not doing anything. I'm just
No, there's
lining
no
up.
corset,
Yeah.
so it's fine.
Right.
he'll start
But he's like,
gathering
"Oh, right."
his hat, cloak, stick, gloves,
All right, I'm
yak,
passing it all with
purse,
one hand.
backpack,
as I'm-
butler.
It's the Looney Tunes series of events.
And he says...
I've suddenly this idea that the yak and the butler are little plastic figures he carries around with him, and I just
They're
hand them back
figurines
to him.
of power.
Like, or they're like
I summon you,
Lego
my butler.
action figures,
Butler,
and my yak and my butler, and I'm like, okay,
Butler of Eternal Servitude.
right,
Quickly, Buttle!
but what'd you call me?
He can buttle for 6 hours with one power word.
And he will bow and say, until we meet again.
Yes,
Yes.
thank you. Oh, thank you, Corden. And please, do the thing I said.
Yes. And he will step out into the hall, and as he closes the door, you can hear him say, Cordelia, what are you doing here, you... And you can hear them start arguing.
Yes, I can hear the end of the B sound he was starting.
Right.
Sounded like he was going to say the C word there.
Oh, you...
Cordelia.
Ah,
Yes.
But here they mouth it with a B at the beginning.
Yes.
Somehow, inexplicably.
She's a real Cordelia, if you know what I mean.
She's a real BC, if you know what I mean. Do we want to see Cordelia?
Oh, I don't know that I mind one way or the other. I have detect thoughts for a bit longer, but I've already spent my auto-fail, my saving throw.
What do you detect outside of the door? What's the range? Do you have to see the person, or is it?
I rush to the door, gossiply.
Corden's thoughts are, I knew it, and Cordelia's thoughts are, damn, how did he get here before me?
Yeah, it's a lot of brother-sister bullshit.
Is she as shitty as he is? Or
Oh,
is she...
yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
And she would have badmouthed him. It would have been a whole thing.
Can confirm, yeah.
She's less war profiteering, but only vaguely.
Sure. She seeks to profit in some way, just not maybe directly.
Yeah, more socially than monetarily.
Yes.
Yeah, the money is always there.
Oh, I simply can't take any more visitors that aren't the princess or the queen.
Damn you, Corden.
You exhausting brick.
So,
Brought the vapors on a strange guest.
Hester, Lily,
Yes.
you're doing this thing where you're reading their thoughts again. Yes, you mentioned that you do this, and I thought you were doing it while we were talking, so I was trying to direct the conversation in ways. I mean, was that what you were doing?
While I still have it up, I immediately read the surface thoughts of Storm.
I'm genuinely interested.
Okay.
And I'm interested in like maybe setting up some sort of system where you give me a signal. So I know you're doing it, or any one of us, so that we can help guide conversation, so surface thoughts become
Yes,
more.
it was.
So that's the thrust of my question. And
Yes.
that's what you're picking up. And then I'm thinking, wait, are you doing this to me now?
No, that was yes, absolutely. It was quite helpful, and did get me some information. Not
I start
A lot of it's
counting, and you start getting images of like my family, embarrassing stuff, me dropping my loot on my foot on my first formal
that's fun.
presentation, fracturing one of my toes, so I limped for 2 weeks.
I'm smiling
things
about
like
something
that.
unrelated, Storm. The important thing is that no, that was very helpful, and yes, perhaps we should work out some kind of signal system. But I had to
do it.
I'm not sure if that's out loud or not, but yes, I can. And
I can message Cantrip you. We can have this conversation privately.
well,
So-
no, that's okay. I think I've been quite clear that I'm pretty creepy. I mean, Creeper. I mean, I am a very good spy.
Stealth.
Stealth
Man,
from
say no more.
afar.
I get it. No, really, my family was very much involved with things like that. So growing up, I'm not a stranger to it. So I get it.
I do wonder if we've roused a bit of the court's opinion if we don't make ourselves unavailable for the rest of the night, even if the queen does come calling.
Ooh, you want to say no to her if she comes calling? What, in feign illness?
Well, if I'm indisposed, what can she do?
Send a healer?
Oh, shoot. Well, we'll deal with that situation if it comes. But I do wonder
your own
if...
physician, so would she send a healer?
That's true.
I say from the bathroom.
Yes. Well, and Marley, it's important.
I open the door. I'm like, "Are you okay in there? Do you want some of this jerky? The food should be. Oh yeah, there's just
mirror and some scented soaps in there. It's right.
That is
good.
Is this full plumbing or is it just a hole in the floor? What's going on?
Got half a hand of solitaire. Don't.
Yeah, she's like, she's like, wait, I'm in the middle. What? Reading an article, commenting over her shoulder while she hears.
Occupied. Yeah. I'm just playing solitaire, but it's occupied.
I live here now. This is my bedroom. We were promised.
Right, it's like the big, but it's like the biggest room any of us have ever seen because it's like so sumptuous.
Well, I do wonder. Well, but you're still an elf. I was wondering if we wanted to spider climb a house cat up to the princess's room to have a dusky, mysterious visitor, but you're still an elf, and I do wonder if she would take you for an assassin.
We don't have those sending stones still.
I can climb.
It is true.
Would you like Warminster to deliver one to the front of the castle?
But if she's tired of the war, did I get much of an impression as to her feelings about the war? It was all Cordon's. It's good for business. There was no
Cordon's. It's good for business. If Hester and the war were brought up, he finds Queen Hester's attempts to end the war exhausting, and Princess Hester does not like the war.
Okay. I actually do wonder whether or not sending an elf wouldn't be mysterious and beneficial to a princess of a certain age.
I don't recommend it. I think it could be easily construed to be an assassination attempt and could set us up as, patsies for any faction that wants to perpetuate the one, say that we're some elf rogue group that's going to try and kill the princess.
It is chancy, but if we come here with any kind of rose of peace...
The other elves, they don't even know who we are, the other elves. I mean, how come... I'm just saying, like...
Do you have any kind of charm that could maybe put her
Well,
off?
if we want charm, Storm has that for days. Do you actually mean a spell?
That might make her more acceptable to me being an elf and all and totally not wanting to assassinate her?
Oh, man, this could be my imagination run wild, but I actually think she's the rebellious teenage daughter who's going to think it's really rad that an elf showed up to her room. That could backfire super quickly, and Hester might be projecting.
Given Queen Hester's age, she's probably not a teenager.
Oh, that's true. She's at least an adult.
Yeah. I can influence subjects that are close to me. It's something I can do. I feel uncomfortable about doing it to people who, aren't hostile.
Well, a handsome, charming Catman could also be...
Are you flirting with me?
Storm, please. Maybe. So...
I can... Yeah, that's really all I can do is that a little bit.
Do we want to just see if Corey comes through?
Yes, and as far as, I know you can maintain your cat form. I can make you look like another thing.
So what if Chimken, you tell anyone that isn't Corden or the returning Buttle with the proper knock that I'm indisposed. I have taken ill, and only my physician can tend me.
Diarrhea.
The diarrhea. I have
Is that
caught
so?
diarrhea.
That's like a rear, but dire.
Yes,
I mean, yeah.
Got it.
I have caught the
We're
diarrhea.
learning so much, spending time with actual physician.
I have the diarrhea.
This is great. There's like spikes and horns and
That's a
stuff.
better name than the real.
But we do
See the
send
name of our ship.
the diarrhea. The diarrhea admiral.
Amazing.
But we do send Marley catted and spider-climbed to sneak on the outside of the building and just kind of get a feeling like if the Princess Hester is singing a song about how someday she'll be herself, like privately in her chambers, we know she's having a real Disney moment, and we're prime for striking. If she's in there like I can't wait to burn the whole kingdom down and singing that song, she's a Disney villainess.
I can't wait to burn the whole kingdom down. I know that one.
Something like that, yes.
Yeah.
And Storm, perhaps you can walk the halls a bit and kind of socially interact with the servant class, any chambermaids, serving maids, kitchen maids, any maids about town.
Suddenly, your interest in me, meaning talking to a lot of various maids, as my.
Well, I should expect you to be quite good at it.
Well, that's very kind of you to say. So we want to find out about the princess, or you just?
Well, you were interested in the politics on your own, and I expect you to know what courtly gossip sounds like, enough to gather some.
Yes, I recommend. I recommend.
The whole mood changed, and
yeah, I just felt something happened in my head. I think got really dark for me for a second, guys. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But suddenly I realized. I just felt like there was a god of darkness looking over all of this.
I don't know what you guys are talking about.
Both yin and yang.
Both yin.
Okay, so.
Yeah, I mean, I like what we just happened. Like, we stimulate conversation. You're able to serve the thinking of those we discuss, and we can intuit things both.
Well, I should remain mysterious and indisposed
for tonight. Well, perhaps
yes.
You're mysterious and indisposed, but secretly not and invisible. How about that?
Well, I can only do that for 10 minutes, and I am lacking spell slots.
Well, doesn't Chimken's stuff last for like an hour?
An hour?
Okay. My full suggestion is, Storm, you wander the halls and be a charming catman to the best of your ability.
Okay.
Chimken, you cast Spider Climb on our cat friend, and she runs reconnaissance on the outside of the castle to try and find the lay of the land.
I can turn into other things besides a cat.
Also, cats do have a climb speed. Just
yeah.
Or spiders do. You can turn into a spider.
Or a baboon. Or a lizard.
Well, I don't know all the ins and outs of things that elves do. I just thought it was pretty rad to have a cat with...
Oh, I do love that image.
As far as a stone castle goes,
the cat can't climb that. But a spider or a baboon probably could.
Or a lizard.
Or a lizard.
Or a catman.
That's true. You probably also have a climb speed. I'm just saying, let's run reconnaissance and pretend as I am indisposed. My physician will stay here and claim such for me should anyone call. That I have the diarrhea. It's traveling in foreign parts.
And it might be catching.
what done it.
Interesting. So we could
It's
create
turning
panic
into
at the
a
court.
Once it makes its way around to the front, then we're all in trouble.
Oh.
This would be my female complaints, if I recall.
The
I have a tincture for it.
dire front.
Yes.
It's the worst part of it. Well, all right. So I'll get about on my own, and you're suggesting that
And stay
Lady
within...
Marley. Go on.
Yeah, no, yeah, so just, let's all stay within message range. I can message, you can message. You know, or within dashable message range, should anything go terribly awry.
All right. I can't go too far from the room.
Yeah, I think it's only like
message-wise.
150 feet, but I can send, but that's a fireball. I have 2 of them left. I don't know that you can do... Which is just to say it's a 3rd level spell. I like calling them fireballs.
Huh. And Chimken, you're good to remain here?
Diarrhea.
I have the diarrhea.
Diarrhea.
Do you guys want to wait until after the food arrives, or just go now?
Oh, that's probably a better...
Because the food could be the cause.
Yes, it's the foreign
Diarrhea.
food what done me in.
Yeah.
Okay.
Fruitcake.
Around that time, the butler returns and does his shave and a haircut knock.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And
Close the door to that.
I want everyone to kind of Clue style, like pretend to be suddenly... I'm on the fainting couch.
Mm-hmm. Right. Chimken's at your side, like taking your temperature or something. Yeah, I get the door.
Okay.
Hello. Oh.
Yeah. And he will wheel in just an enormous amount of food.
Fantastic.
And he'll say, "The Queen offers her deepest apologies for the delay, but it will... there is a matter that has come up that will take her attention for the rest of the night. I'm sorry. She says first thing in the morning she can have a private audience with you."
Is everything all right?
Yes. Nothing to worry about. Just some business about the war.
About the war?
Yes.
Anything we should be concerned with?
No, nothing here. Just apparently Kullkraken was attacked. Some of our guards have learned, so...
Oh no!
So we must investigate further. But, yes.
The
Kullkraken.
Obligé.
I'm sorry, but I must insist. Is there any way that we can be privy to this intelligence, as the Duchess is from Kraken? This would be problematic.
So who is?
The Duchess.
Oh, don't say privy. I've run to the water closet with Marley.
Marley, make a stealth check.
Oh no. Okay.
I messaged you. I'm like, did we not say that?
Not inside the castle walls, you didn't.
Shit. Okay, no. I'll cover it.
That'll be a
Should have had a failed re-rolls.
Marley quick grabs onto the back of the door and
There's just playing cards on the ground still. Can I slide on them a little bit?
Close the door.
I say, yes, we'd heard of the Duchess of Kullkraken on our way in. One of the soldiers at the gate was speaking of it. The name so unusual it struck out in my imagination. So I don't know. I'm a curious fellow, and I really don't know too much about culture. So might I attend as an interested observer?
He'll say, "I'm sorry, I must insist. War Council meetings are strictly for by invite of the King and Queen only."
Oh, I understand, and yeah, certainly I wouldn't expect a butler to have any sort of access or say so. But if you could, suggestion, wisdom saving throw, put in a good word for me, I would appreciate it.
He says, "Of course, sir."
I do appreciate it, and thank you so much for your kindness in getting us all of this delicious food. You will be remembered. Thank you, sir.
Storm
Kind of,
will remember.
kind of straighten up. A legacy.
That's right.
And
I'll compose a ballad to your work.
he will leave you to your feast, which has pre-caused diarrhea in the Hester.
The diarrhea.
Okay.
The aroma of the sauce got to her.
I use prestidigitation to make inappropriate everything.
Right. And then I message you in the bathroom. Shit, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I was
No,
taken in
it's
by.
fine.
It's all right.
It's fine.
I think I got it.
It was an elaborate ruse.
You did roll out. You did roll out of it very well.
We're getting away with it.
And that's where we will end tonight. So,
All right.
As we plan to storm Castle Summer Bright. What is it?
Brightsummer.
Very close.
Brightsummer, bright.
Outros and plugs. Timothy.
Hi, I'm Timothy at Timothy Magic on Twits and Timothy McCown Reynolds on the Instas. Let's see. I'm plugging the United States women's soccer team being badasses and
Yes.
amazing examples of teamwork and the wonderful side of sports and everything. And happiness in being of a certain place without any sort of us and them thrown onto it. I love them, and I'm super inspired. I've never bought a sports team jersey, but I ordered one, Megan Rapinoe, today for myself. So, hooray. That's it for me.
Awesome. Cece.
Hi, I'm Cece, aka Soup or Soupska on the interwebs. I do artwork, so you can follow me on Twitter and Instagram, and I will post some things for sure.
Awesome. Sean.
Hello, my name is Sean. This Saturday, I'm running Hell's Rebels again. It's a Pathfinder path that I've converted to 5th edition D&D, and I finally, prepared ahead. So we're playing through book 4, so I finished preparing book 4, and I'm preparing book 5, and it's really awesome. So we'll have a special guest, Kelly the Opera Geek, who will be playing an opera singer in the game. This adventure is about the Song of Silver, which is an opera song / ritual. And now I have Kelly to perform the Song of Silver.
That's
That's
awesome.
amazing.
6:30 p.m. Eastern on Power Score RPG Twitch channel. So
You said that's Saturday?
Saturday at 6:30
Nice.
Eastern.
Very nice.
And Marty.
Yeah, hey, it's your boy Marty back at on all the Instas and Grams. Probably. I'm all twitching in your chats and tubing all your U's. Yeah, I'm mentally exhausted, but I'm having a hella time stream, and I hope everyone's enjoying Chasing Space with us because it's a lot of dumb fun, and I like a RP heavy session, and this was scratching my itch tonight. So go team.
Good team, go.
Hey.
I'm Andy Hatton at Andy Hatton on Twitter is a good place to see the schedule. Next week is Call of Cthulhu on Monday, Twilight Trails. It's 100% live. It hasn't been
Totally live.
And then Wednesday, Task Force Unlikely is back with episode 21, Peace and Quiet. And everything's fine over in the Underdark. I can't think of a single reason why anyone would be mad at me.
I can think of something.
I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah, and that's it. Have a great night, everybody.
Yay.
Oh, you're making it hard for me to use the mouse.